Today's coping skill is going to help us bring that sense of safety, comfort, and relaxation wherever we are using our imagination. This skill is called safe space imagery. And the idea is we create in our imagination the ideal safe space for us whenever we need it. As we are imagining this safe space, our body and mind begin to believe that we are truly there and in that state, providing relief and letting our nervous system relax. So let's learn how to do this and some of the practical tips associated with it. So the first thing to do is decide, where is that place for you? What is the space that you feel most comfortable and relaxed? Now, we ask people not to think of places from their childhood or places where something bad has also happened in the past. So I like to encourage my clients to come up with their own imaginary space, somewhere that's not necessarily a place they've been, but a place that they can imagine and they can feel the safety and comfort in that. So you can use any completely imaginary or fictional place of your liking. So for example, many people like the idea of an ideal mountaintop cabin looking out in the vast valleys, mountains around. Others prefer a beach scene. Many of my clients prefer a beach scene where they're enjoying a day with nothing to do, just lounging in the sun, enjoying all the sights and sounds around them. Then you can have just a cozy living room on the couch. And then we also could do like a botanical garden full of luscious nature, flowers, all the different smells that could accompany that. So those are just some examples of a safe space that you could choose for your safe space imagery. So once you've decided on where you would like your imagery to take place, to make this really real, to help convince our body and mind that we're taking a trip to this safe space, we want to really bring in all 5 of the senses and notice things with each of those senses. So let's start with the sights. Of course, you've decided where your place is. Now we need to know exactly what does it look like. So imagining that space for you, look around the scene and just notice what are the things that you would want to see in your safe space. So things I like to encourage clients to think about is, what is the weather like in this scene? What are some of the colors you see? What nature is around you? Is there anyone with you? Did you bring a loved one? Did you bring a pet with you? And the other thing to think about is, what seat would you want to be seated in? We want to be very comfortable, so I always think this is a great place to start. What is that seat that we would feel most comfortable just relaxing in? Is it a recliner? Is it a couch? Is it just a beach chair? Whatever you find comfortable, you make that decision, and then look at it. Notice, what does that look like? What color is it? All of those details. Okay, now that you've gotten your sights in place, we now want to add some details about the things that you can touch, the textures you might experience. So back to the seat again. How does it feel to sit in it? How does it feel to sink into the seat? How does the texture of the material it's made of, maybe running your hands across the arm of the chair and noticing, oh, okay, this velvet or this leather, whatever that feeling is, and notice the details of what does it feel like to notice that level of detail in the textures of the seat. You can also think of the weather again, so noticing the warmth of the sun, the breeze running past your skin. And if you're in a scene that has nature, maybe you go and you're noticing running your hand through the grass. Maybe you pick a flower, can notice the texture of the stem, the leaves, the flower petals. And you can also, like if you're at the beach, maybe take a moment to feel your feet sinking into the sand and what that feels like. Next, we can move on to the sounds in the scene. So if you're outdoors, oftentimes you might think of, maybe you're hearing some birds chirping in the background. If you're at the beach, the ocean waves crashing in and out and noticing that sound. And then you could also choose your own kind of background music that you like. So finding an artist, a playlist, a general vibe of style of music that you like, and imagining that that is just playing in your background, and then taking that moment to listen to it and really enjoy the feeling that that brings for you. Or if you just like a white noise or some sort of constant sound that provides you comfort, bring that there as well. And then we get to smells. What are the smells, the scents that are in this scene? So examples could be the smell of fresh grass. If you picked a flower, take a moment to smell in the flower. What kind of scent does that flower have compared to another flower in the scene? You might smell the salty air of the beach. And you can also, again, bring your own, whatever candle you like. You could bring that candle with that scent, maybe essential oils. And lastly, we come to taste. With taste, I like to think of just like maybe a little snack and maybe a little drink, just so you can experience that sensation within your scene. So as far as a drink, what is like a refreshing drink that you could take in that provides just that sense of relaxation, calm? So I like to think of lemonade, sweet tea, some of those things that are just nice, refreshing drinks. And then lastly, a snack or a sweet. Maybe you have fresh fruit that you really like the taste of a strawberry. So you can take a bite of that strawberry and notice, what does that taste like? And then go back to the other senses. What does that smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? All of these all the sensory data is helping us to really feel like we are there more and more deeply with each thing that we notice. And then once we've done all 5 senses, then we want to move into the feeling of safety. So then we want to check and see, is there anything about this that I could add or subtract to make things feel more safe? Some people prefer to be the only one in their scene. So maybe you want to have a private beach, and maybe you make your scene an island so that you know it's just you on the island and you can just relax knowing that. Some people like to have a support system. So maybe they want to have their partner or a close friend or a pet, providing that sense of comfort and support around them. One thing I like to suggest is, because this is imaginary, there's nothing stopping us from using an energetic force field around your scene. So creating with the imagination this field around you that protects and makes sure that there's going to be nothing that comes into the scene that you do not want there. So once you've done all of these things, now it becomes the practice of actually doing this, almost like a meditation, where you're going to find a comfortable seat and close your eyes and take that moment to then visualize and notice all of the 5 senses. Now it's your time to just look around, notice all of those things in your scene. And just notice, as you're in the scene, notice the sense of safety and relaxation that you're getting. And as you're feeling that sense, allow that sense to expand within you. That is the point of this, is to start to really notice we have the ability to feel relaxed, calm, safe. And so as we're doing this, allowing that to expand, and recognize the relief, the ability to kind of let your shoulders sink down, let everything go for that moment, and just relax. The last step would be just to check in with yourself and say, is there anything about this scene that doesn't feel quite right? And so you take a look at all the details, and if there's anything that feels like, okay, I thought I wanted this element, but now it feels like too much, or it's not really making me feel the most comfortable, I can remove that item from your imaginary scene. Same thing, if there's something that you wish you had brought in but didn't, go ahead and do that now. Find the thing that you would like to add to the scene. Maybe it's a blanket, maybe it's a stuffed animal, maybe it's some item that brings you comfort you forgot. Bring that in and make sure, until you feel like your scene is just right, we want to curate that. So make all those decisions, and then if at the end it still doesn't feel right, it's often best just to restart the whole process and maybe choose a new scene, choose all the new elements, and then start afresh until you find what's right for you. So I want to encourage everyone to use this as a daily practice, because as we are practicing in our body and mind, feeling relaxed and safe, we start to train our body that this is a state we can be in. And if we do this daily, it becomes more of a habit where we can begin to feel this more and more of the time. and hoping to move that to be more of our everyday normal is just being in that place of relaxation, safety, and calm. So let me know how this exercise went for you. If you have any questions about how to do this, any details, or if you're having any difficulties with it, please feel free to reach out and let me know how it's going for you. And as you're practicing, remember to check in with yourself, trust your inner wisdom, and follow your peace.